Right, so we took off the wheel so we could check the crank to make sure that the engine's not locked. When the car won't start, when it won't crank, so it won't start, the first thing you want to check is the crank right here. So we'll go ahead and turn the pulley and make sure that it turns, and it does. So that's great news. That means the engine is not locked. That's wonderful. So we'll have to check the starter and the neutral safety switch next. But since we already have the wheel off, we do want to inspect, and doesn't look good. Doesn't look good. Don't know for sure yet, but definitely does not look good. There's lots of leaking, as you can see. I don't want to say leaking. There's no puddles on the floor here. A little bit. I'm not sure if this is from here. It suggests that it may be, but not sure because it's not wet. Could be from other people, like this spot here. But there's definitely wetness, so if it's not leaking now, it may have been leaking in the past. I don't know for sure yet. I'll have to clean it off. You see, it should look dry like this, but there are parts that look wet. And it doesn't look like it's leaking any drips or anything like that, but definitely it does look wet, so that's not good news. And we can see here, this is cracked. This is going to need to be replaced, and I won't know more until after I clean things off and see if there's any more leaking coming up after I clean it. But you can see it's wet back here too. It looks good, just wet, and I don't know where that wetness is coming from. Could be in here. That looks nice and good. Up here looks good. I can't really tell yet, so definitely this doesn't look good. Looks like this one, this strut might need to be replaced, because you never want it to be wet. For sure, you never want it to be wet. And it should be dry, but it's wet. So we'll have to do some more work, unfortunately. Good learning experience though. All this wetness could have been from the leaking valve cover gasket that I've already replaced. And just because we did notice that this front valve cover gasket, they did the spark plug wells, but they didn't do the external gasket. Since they didn't do a good job and didn't do it right, changing them all, I suspect that they did the same thing in the back. May have only replaced part of it and not all of it. So I'm going to do the back one also, just to be safe. If you want things done right, you got to do it yourself. So I'm not going to trust that they did it right, because had I trusted here, clearly we saw it was not done right. So all right, there we have it.